Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios, Kokomlimle in Accra, at digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country, including Pad FM in Damongo, Jubilee FM in Keta, and Sunshine FM in Boko. It's on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by Telesol 4G, Just a Touch, UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, Let's Go. In this edition, Amnesty International petition charge over continued detention of Gregory Afoko following increase in criticism of decision by Accra High Court to overturn bail granted to him by another High Court judge.
We are going to move on to send a petition right that an investigation is conducted into the human rights abuse of Mr. Gregory Afoko to find out the reason was not able to unveil terms.
We'll hear from them as Occupy Ghana demands punishment of officers who flouted Mr. Afoko's bail order. Anti-corruption campaigner says President Akufo-Addo must be blamed after special prosecutor accuses heads of state institutions of frustrating his work.
The whole blame should be put on the president because the president has power over all these institutions that he's complaining about. The president appoints the heads of these institutions. So if the president is committed, he just needs to give the instructions.
We'll bring you details of the latest epistle from the special prosecutor Martin Amidu, who is dismissing suggestions that he's sleeping on the job. And as the search for the missing Toyota Hilux pickup continues in the newly created Savannah region, the two main political parties are trading words, with the NDC issuing a 5-day ultimatum to the RCC or face their wrath. In sports.
Now, the Normalization Committee has once again blamed clubs in the country in their latest decision to cancel a stakeholders meeting intended to plan for the 2019-2020 season. And we've got the representative of the clubs respond to this.
And later, students of runner-ups in National Maths and Science Quiz, Presec Legon, develop app which sends instant notification to parents and tracks exits.
I started it, and just about 4 days to the time we're coming back to school, we had to present the project. The thing flopped. I wanted to go for the first. So as I was pondering over it, by the grace of God, an idea came up and it was amazing.
We'll tell you more about that app called Exit Log. All that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. We have details now, and we'll talk about Gregory Afoko shortly, but before then, government's fight against corruption has a long journey to go unless some drastic action is taken against heads of public institutions. That's according to the special prosecutor Martin Amidu, who has fingered heads for frustrating his works by refusing to provide his office with the information needed to effectively discharge his duties. Now, in a 3-page document released by the special prosecutor, he accuses heads of institutions for refusing to comply with laws designed to ensure good governance and to protect the national purse. My Joy Online editor, Malik Dabo, joins me in studio with details of the latest epistle by the Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu. Now, this isn't the first time the SP is speaking about challenges confronting his works.
Yes, it's not. And in this case, he's talking about the heads of institutions whom you mentioned. And these heads of institutions flout basic requirements when he writes to them as a constitutionally established body, asking for information on the basis of which he can make a determination whether some wrongdoing has occasioned. They flatly reject or they ignore the request and do not give him the information that he has sought after. Now, he says that it is not the president as a person who, on his own, can fight corruption. It is these institutions. And the president fulfilled a promise by establishing this office. Now, when the office acting with the powers conferred on it write to these institutions for information, the institutions do not give the information at all. Okay. And he says that the heads of the institution wantonly disregard requests for information which he makes on the basis of powers conferred on him. Let me just quote a portion of it. The heads of institutions wantonly disregard statutory request. And statutory request means it's by law. And these requests are made by the office for information and production of documents to assist in the investigation of corruption and corruption-related offences, in spite of the fact that the president has, on a number of occasions, admonished them on such misconduct. Another issue he raises is that some of the malfeasance going on affect the ability of the office to deliver on its mandate, particularly when it must depend on some of these very institutions for seconded staff until it employs its own. Now, he says what is worrying is that this office, as an anti-corruption investigation and prosecution agency, is the refusal of the heads of these institutions. The heads of institutions also refuse to use steps which are laid down by law
so he
in
talks
their
about,
conduct.
He talks about a number of frustrations, though.
Absolutely.
Does he state exactly the forms that they come in?
Now, he says that the civil service and the local government services, the police services, the public services have specific laws and regulations governing what should happen to public officers who, under suspicion for disciplinary offences, are supposed to provide certain rules that they will follow. These institutions disregard them. In the morning when we're having the conversation about this, Manasseh says that he does not agree with the first opening, the first paragraph of this epistle by Martin Amidu, which he views as seeking to absolve the president. He says if the president sacks all of these heads of institutions, some of whom are appointed by the president, then the fight against corruption will not fail, as Martin Amidu is fearing will happen, because the heads of institutions are all appointed, just as himself, by the president.
So he says that he's not sleeping on the job.
No, he's not, because you know that there was a forum recently when questions were being raised whether he's doing his job and why much has not been heard from him. He's prosecuting only one person, an opposition member of parliament.
Exactly.
And you heard Professor Stephen Kukwasari saying that he should not target only members of parliament who are in the opposition, but also those who are in government as well. Unfortunately, so far, just one case has been filed. In fact, a part of that case itself was struck out. We know that he's back in court prosecuting Mahama Ayariga, who is member of parliament for Boku Central.
But talk of parliament, though, he accuses them of paying lip service to corruption. Did he say why?
Absolutely. I can't find that part of the statement.
It is rather a long document, though.
Absolutely.
Okay, but let's bring in, let's go on the phone line and speak with anti-corruption campaigner Vitus Azim. We're grateful for your time here on the Midday News. I'm sure you got time to go through parts of that document. He's saying that amongst others, he's not sleeping on the job. Others are frustrating him. That's how come he's not, working as we are expecting him to. Legitimate concerns, you say?
Well, legitimate concerns, but transparency is very important. Transparency and accountability. Maybe more details about the cases that he's investigating, especially those that have been sent to court. I think that would help to let us agree with him that he's not sleeping on the job.
But then, for him to be lamenting at this point, is that what we are looking for, or we want him to just deliver?
Well, we want him to deliver within the resources that he has, within the powers and within whatever he has. And so lamenting, especially trying to exonerate the president and some of the people that matter. The president is the head of the executive in this country. Virtually all heads of institutions are appointed by the president. Virtually most of them can be removed by the president. He can sanction them. The Minister of Finance is the one that will release the resources to him. So if he's complaining about having only 3 investigators, and saying that at the same time saying that the Minister of Finance is cooperating, I tend to differ a bit with those. There's no need to exonerate anybody, because we know what they're supposed to do, and if they're not doing it, making it difficult for him to do his work, he shouldn't exonerate them from blame.
But this is the man, Martin Amidu, that most people described as a savior when it comes to corruption. And for him to be lamenting the way that he is, what does it mean to our fight against corruption?
Well, it's a sad development, because the way this government has touted about setting up the Office of Special Prosecutor to fight corruption, both in and outside Ghana, we don't expect this. And these are the problems that he's encountering, and nobody is in a position to help him to overcome those concerns. It means that we are not succeeding in the fight against corruption.
So then, if you were in the position to advise him, what would you say he does? Still stay on in spite of the frustrations, or just leave?
Well, I have 3. I would say that 1, he should submit a list of those cases that are pending and the institutions involved and where the institutions are not cooperating to the president and ask the president to act on it.
We're grateful for your time here on the Midday News. You heard the anti-corruption campaigner Vitus Azim there. Now, the search for a brand new Toyota Hilux pickup presented to the Savannah Regional Coordinating Council continues weeks after it mysteriously went missing. The vehicle was part of a fleet of vehicles presented to the new region by President Akufo-Addo to run its administration following its creation this year. Until it went missing, though, the unbranded vehicle was in the possession of the Savannah Regional Minister Salifu Adam Brima, and the opposition NDC in the region has given him 5 days to produce the vehicle or face their wrath. The NPP in the last few minutes have been speaking for the first time about the issue. We'll go live to our correspondent shortly, but first, Joy News editor Fred Smith joins us in studio to unravel all the mysteries surrounding this Toyota Hilux pickup vehicle. So, Fred, what do we know?
Well, what we know is that President Akufo-Addo presented this and other vehicles to the new region. You know, it's Savannah is part of the new regions created this year, and they were supposed to use these vehicles to run the affairs of the region. What we heard was that this vehicle was stolen some time back. That was on the 4th of this month. Okay. And here are the details as we found on the situational report prepared by the police following the reports. Now, Sulemana Ilyasu, he's a 43-year-old man. He was accompanied by Al-Hassan Mohammed Mubarak, the Savannah Regional Coordinating Council accountant. And Sulemana, the name I mentioned earlier, is said to be the friend of the regional minister. Now, he called at the station together with the accountant, and they reported that on the 4th of July 2019, the Savannah Regional Minister, Honorable Adam Salifu, was traveling to Accra by flight for a meeting and parked his Toyota Hilux pickup number ER351619 at his house. That on the 6th of July 2019, that's 2 days after the vehicle was parked, at about 9 p.m., two armed men wielding AK-47 rifles came to his house and took the aforementioned vehicles away. That the suspects, who also collected his iPhone 7 Plus and Samsung A6 Plus mobile phones and cash of 200 Ghana cedis, took him to an unknown location where they dropped him off and went away with the vehicle. MFI, these are the details presented by the complainant. The man said to be a friend to the regional minister, in whose house the vehicle was parked before it cannot be traced as we speak. And of course, the two main political parties in the region have been talking about it. We'll hear from the NPP though, but there's a statement from the NDC that we know about. Indeed, here's a statement issued by the NDC today in that region. It says the Savannah Regional NDC has taken notice of some prevaricate information in the past few days surrounding the purported robbery of a Toyota Hilux pickup belonging to the Regional Coordinating Council of the Savannah region. As a matter of fact, the entire region has been left in shock and impinged following the numerous stories and witnessing navigating the missing vehicle. As a political party born out of integrity and accountability and being a major stakeholder in the Savannah region, we sought to set the record straight on the matter with some questions after our investigations. Amidst the deliberate refusal to speak and the internal directives to remain tight-lipped by the Regional Coordinating Council on the matter, we have intercepted stories from various outfits being sourced to the Regional Police Command, other regional appointees and persons around the minister, and among the numerous accounts given, we wish to limit our spotlight to just two major accounts. Well, statement doesn't complete, but obviously mentions the statement I've read to you from the police. Okay, that's Joy News editor Fred Smith there. Now let's join our Savannah regional correspondent Isaac Nonja. He's been following the NPP for their response or the official reaction to this matter. What have they been telling you, Isaac?
Well, the communication team of the party here is very optimistic that the vehicle, the account of the complainant, will be found. According to them, the vehicle has not gone far, and people who well-meaning Ghanaians should join them and together with the police to retrieve the vehicle for the region. They did not end there. They found it ridiculous to hear from their brothers from the NDC side, claiming that they know the word about the vehicle. And they think that it would be proper if the police invite them, especially the member of parliament of the area, Adam Mutawakilu, and then his aide, Juan Kudus, to assist in the investigation.
Very well. So I'm sure they've heard about the NDC's ultimatum that they've issued. What did they say about it also?
Yes, they did. They are in a way warning the NDC to stay clear because they will match them as they try to come onto the street to demand for what they cannot prove. According to one Mohammed Issa, who is happen to be the regional communication director, he says that if the NDC claim to be that clean, then they're able to prove all the shortcomings they put before Ghanaian before they left. He said on the side that when you look at what they failed to do in the region, he was referring to the former president. They do not have the moral right to caution things that they're searching for. But they believe that whatever happens, the vehicle will be found. And the NDC should stay away from the demonstration they intend doing.
Very well. That's our Savannah regional correspondent, Isaac Nonja. Now, Amnesty International says it will petition Shraj in the coming days over the continued detention of Gregory Afoko, who is standing trial for allegedly killing the Upper East NPP chairman, Adams Mahama. It comes as an Accra High Court yesterday rescinded the decision of another High Court judge to grant him bail. Now, this was after an oral application made by Chief State Attorney Marina Apia Opare. There's growing criticism of the Accra High Court's decision. We'll hear from Amnesty International shortly, but first, here's a news desk report.
I'm not playing with this boy to do anything. Why do you treat me like this? Why do you people want twisting the story, twisting it? Oh, Ghana, it's a shame.
A visibly unhappy Gregory Afoko charging towards policemen who are leading him away from the Accra District Court. He is restrained and led into a waiting car. His unhappiness stems from the fact that the state has decided to restart his nearly 4-year-old trial that is barely a month away from conclusion. This was after the arrest of a man believed to be his accomplice. His lawyers will push for bail and drag the AG to the Supreme Court, accusing the office of unfair treatment in its decision to discontinue the case. An Accra High Court on March 14 granted Gregory Afoko bail in the sum of 500,000 cedis with 2 sureties, one to be justified. Gregory will not be released despite meeting the conditions, and the state will appeal the decision as a court of appeal, plus filing a stay of execution. The Court of Appeal will dismiss the stay of execution, but Afoko will not be released. The Supreme Court will rule in favor of the AG, saying she acted within the law in ending the trial. Gregory Afoko will be put on trial once again at an Accra High Court. Justice Merlewood will ask that the case commences on Wednesday due to the absence of jurors, but the state will orally urge the court to rescind the bail granted by another High Court. This will be granted, leaving Afoko's legal team shocked.
I'm very surprised that a High Court of coordinate jurisdiction will rescind the bail granted to Greg Afoko when same has been appealed against. There's a pending appeal in respect of the bail granted to Greg Afoko. So I'm wondering the jurisdiction with which she rescinded the decision. I am surprised, very, very surprised. We will deal with it appropriately.
Other lawyers, Martin Pebu and Justice Remsai, share similar sentiments.
We should be very much ashamed of ourselves as an association which has had a great history of defending the rights of simple individuals. To be silent on an event of this nature is something that I cannot even fathom. And I pray that the bar at a point will start speaking on this particular issue. It is not a normal thing.
It doesn't bode well for our judicial system if this kind of things continue.
The trial of Gregory Afoko is to commence on Wednesday.
You heard that news desk report. We'll get to hear from the Amnesty International shortly, but a number of civil society organizations have been condemning the judge's decision to rescind that bail granted Paul Afoko. One of such is the Occupy Ghana, and we are grateful to be joined on the phone by a leading member of Occupy Ghana, Ace Anan Ankuman. We are grateful for your time here on the Midday News. You are demanding a full and impartial investigation into the apparent refusal of the state to comply with a bail order. You have a particular state or name in mind as to who should conduct that investigation?
Before we get there, let me correct an impression. Our statement was very carefully worded. We did not condemn any judge. What we condemn is the period between when the bill was granted and when, in fact, the period when we fulfilled the bill conditions till now. That is what we are condemning. And we see that there are public officers who must have seen that the bill conditions have been complied with, and whether we like the decision of the court or not, we were bound by the decision of the court, and we should have released him. It is those officers who we think need to be punished for breaching the Constitution, because under the Constitution, if the state holds on to a person illegally, the person has a constitutional right to compensation. It means that your tax money and my tax money will be used to pay compensation to the gentleman who is back on trial. It is these things that the Constitution seeks to avoid, and that is why they should have released him when the court made the order. That is what we are condemning.
Now, you are demanding that for an impartial investigation, and I'm asking if you have any specific institution or persons in mind to conduct that investigation.
Obviously, whoever was holding him, whichever institution of state was holding him, whether it was the police force, whether it was National Security Secretariat, whoever was holding him, the people to whom the bail conditions were met, and whoever decided to ignore the order of the court and the fact that the bail conditions have been met. That is why we are asking for the investigation to ascertain exactly which individuals perpetrated this. And we say that those individuals should be held personally liable. They shouldn't use your tax money and mine to pay the compensation. They are the ones who should be punished.
But you have a time frame in mind that should happen?
I think this is still a story that is growing. We will watch it, but we are not setting any deadlines yet. We've asked for this. Let's see what the response is.
We're grateful for your time here on the Midday News. You heard the lawyer Asan Kuma is a leading member of pressure group Occupy Ghana. And meanwhile, spokesperson for Amnesty International, Robert Amoafo, has described as unacceptable the court's decision to overturn the bill ruling. He tells Joy News Amnesty International will head to Sraj on the matter.
Amnesty International got involved in this case about 2 months ago when he realized that his bill was not being implemented. And this was done because a petition was brought to us. We wrote to the CID boss and COP Manutiwa for audience with Gregory Afoko, so that we could identify what the challenge is. Because for us, our concern is that whenever a human right is accorded to an individual, it must be enjoyed accordingly. We haven't gotten any response since then until this matter has happened. So whatever case that there was, for as far as we are concerned, it was supposed to be laid bare for all of us to know. And for that matter, even when this case was being heard, we've not heard any reason why he was held until now, even in the process of when this case was being decided. And we ought to say that we have made efforts to get the reason why this was done, and nothing came out of it.
There's a school of thought that government, through the AG's department or the Attorney General, is manipulating this process.
We want to be very clear on what happened, and that is why we are calling, we are going to move on to send a petition to Scribes that an investigation is conducted into the human rights abuse of Mr. Gregory Afoko as soon as possible to find out the reason why he was not able to enjoy his bail term, because it is rather unheard of that a court of competent jurisdiction would give somebody this right and he's not being to enjoy it as expected.
You heard the spokesperson for Amnesty International, Robert Amoafo. There, we'll take a quick break here on the Midday News. When we return, we'll head to Parliament, where government is seeking to justify its decision to convert the WA campus of the UDS into a full-fledged university. And also, students of runners-up in National Maths and Science quiz, Presec Legon, develop app which sends instant notification to parents and tracks exit.
I started it, and just about 4 days to the time we were coming back to school, we had to present the project. The thing flopped. I wanted to go for the first. So as I was pondering over it, by the grace of God, an idea came up, and it was amazing.
We'll be right back after this break.
My name is Kwame Sefakai, and most of you know me as a media personality, but I am also a family man. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, saves me so much time by letting me do almost all of my banking transactions on my phone. The cardless withdrawal feature allows me to withdraw cash from any UMB ATM without an ATM card. I can also pay bills, transfer money, request for a loan, invest money, and so much more. So now, I can spend less time at the bank and more time with the ones I love. Bank anywhere and anytime with a UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, and get the time to do what you love most. Download the UMB Speed App from your Android, iOS, or Windows phone today. Call 0302-633-988 for more information. UMB Speed App, Digibank, let's go.
And let's go. It's time for sports.
Yes, some news outside the Africa Cup of Nations, and the Normalization Committee of the Ghana Football Association had planned to meet clubs in the country, including representatives of women football, tomorrow, Wednesday, to plan for the start date of the new season. But that has been cancelled after the NC accused clubs of showing no interest in the issue. But that has been dispelled by Ebo Apia, who is consultant to the Ghana League Clubs Association.
For the Ghana League Clubs Association, our interest is not in a subset of football. Our interest is in a holistic approach to solving the football. What is the state of football in Ghana? That's what the clubs are interested in, not pick and choose. We had written letters to them some time ago and we decided to answer some and not to answer some. Now you are calling us for a debate on the league. The league is not football. Football is bigger than the league. We want a roadmap. We want a clear understanding. We want to know what's happening to the 3 conditions that they were given by FIFA. This is what we want to know. We invest money and we invest energy and we invest our resources into a product. How can we plan if we don't know what is going on? Clearly, if they are saying that the clubs are showing a disinterest, it's because the clubs have a vision of football. They don't have a vision of league. The league is not football. Football is bigger than the league. And therefore, the NC should come again. We are looking for a clear roadmap to be able to arrive at reforms and elections and handover. That is what the clubs are interested in.
Interesting there. We see how it unfolds with the fight between NC, what looks like a fight or a tiff between the NC and clubs in the country, MFA.
Thank you very much, Redwan. Now, there was a near clash yesterday between residents of Achim, Himang and Jampomani communities in the eastern region after a youth group and some elders of Himang organized a press conference to protest mining in the community and also oppose the distillment of Himang Hene or Saberema Mrikisu or Kasum Apor Ata by Ochehene Asajifo Omwetia for opinion. Now, the youth, after addressing the press, went ahead to inspect their only source of drinking water, which is close to the mining site. They were, however, met with resistance from workers of the mines who are residents of Japomani, resulting in a retaliation from the youth of Himang. Maxwell Kudeko has been following that and will bring us all the details. Now, has peace since returned to the area?
Relatively, peace has been returned to the area, but the people of Jampomani and Dome are saying that if the security authorities do not stamp their authority and ensure that the violence or the attacks against them don't stop, they may retaliate. But relatively, there is peace in the area now.
But we are told about an attack on the Achim Dome Queen Mother this morning. What can you tell us about it?
Well, at a joint press conference this morning by the Dome and the Jamponi people, the Dome Hima, Oba Hima Opokuya Esa alleged that the youth of Himan attacked her over the weekend on this same issue. The matter has been reported to the police, but nothing has been done in the interim.
The man was telling them to go back because they don't have to fight with them because the case is in court. We don't like any fighting. So he was trying to tell them, we the Dome, we want peace, but not fight. But as soon as he finished talking to them, when he was entering my house, some of the Himang boys entered my house and attacked my king. And they got him beaten. I want to say to the authorities that I want peace because where we are is Dome, is not for Himang. If anything is going on, it is not good. We have to report.
You had the press conference from the area and that report filed by Maxwell Kudeko. Now, government is justifying its decision to convert the WA campus of the University of Development Studies into a fully fledged university. Minister of State in charge of tertiary education, Professor Kwesi Yanka, argued in Parliament that this will improve access to tertiary education in the Upper West region and the country as a whole. We'll bring you more in our subsequent bulletins. But 2 students of Presec Legon who develop an app which gives instant alerts to parents and also electronically keep records of exits issued. The two say their determination to succeed led them to create the app after they first failed in their attempt. The two teenagers, Japheth Hloji Selom and Ebenezer Chere, are now successful with what can be described as an innovation in Ghana. Maxwell Agbagba has more.
We all know the current exit system. It's a paper-based kind of system.
I've met 16-year-old Japheth Hloji Selom and Ebenezer Chere, both general science students of Presec, Legon. The two teenagers say the status quo makes it easy for students to go out of campus without authorization. Yes, Japheth Hloji Selom.
You see that it's dealing with records, but a lot of exit cards cause a cumbersome record keeping. And then we saw that students were outwitting the exit system. Sometimes they fake exits, they forge signatures.
The Form 2 student says the app has been designed to send instant notification to parents anytime their children are issued exits. He says the pending list feature makes it possible to easily identify students who overstay the number of days approved.
Their friends will certainly not be happy with them. But what's trending on social media, ma'am?
Hashtag fix LECMA now is trending, and Adlex's boss says, we pay for roadworthy certificates, but the roads are not worthy. Sai at Simon Yaku says, whenever I listen to the responses from the LECMA MCE with regard to the LECMA road, it makes me sick. The minister, the MP, and the MCE must fix that road ASAP. Hashtag fix LECMA now. And Kwabena Ado Jr. says, hashtag fix LECMA now. This is very disturbing. The official from LECMA seems not to know anything about this project, and it doesn't make sense. Hashtag fix LECMA now.
That's it for the midday news. I am MFA Pau. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com.